What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for clicking on to another video. I hope you really enjoyed the deload weak science video that I put out last week. If you haven't gotten a chance to check that one out yet, I will link it above. Check it out after this one, of course. We got some great information in here. You're not going to want to miss it. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about our last lower body training day of the week. This lower body training day is different than the others because it has an emphasis on paused movements. We're going to get into all about paused movements. We're going to talk about the other accessory movements that we use. And we're going to really kill the legs for the last training session of the week. So without any further ado, let's get into some training footage. Let's check out our first lift of the day. Okay, so starting off, because we're focused on our deadlift overall in this program, we want to program our deadlift accessories first. So we're going to start off with paused deadlifts. So as you can see, I'm using Versa grips here because when I'm doing deadlifts outside of my competition deadlift, I want to take as much emphasis out of my grip as possible so that I can really focus on using my legs and lower back to actually do the movement and not have to worry about my grip failing and failing the lift. When I'm doing competition deadlift, obviously no grips because that is not allowed in the federation that I want to train in. However, when I'm doing straight leg deadlifts or when I'm doing pause deadlifts, I like to throw the grips on just to make sure that I can get the best stimulus at the muscles that I'm trying to target. So as you can see, I'm stopping right at my shin and I'm holding for 2 seconds. Basically what this is doing is I'm trying to work on my finishing move for the lift. So I'm basically trying to bring all the momentum to a dead stop and then really destroy my low back, my glutes, and my quads as I finish the movement out. Driving through the legs, really engaging the glutes at the top of the movement just to finish it off strong. Basically, as you can see, it's the same as a normal deadlift except you're pausing right before you hit your knee. You're counting 1, 2, and then you're finishing the movement, driving as hard as you can up to the top of the movement, and then you're done. Every time we're doing it, we want to make sure that we're hitting our 2 count, 1, 2 in your head. A good thing to do is record yourself doing pause deadlifts because when you're under the bar, or when you're pulling in this case, you can think that you're doing 2 seconds, but it's actually a second or a second and a half. So filming yourself is a good way to keep yourself honest. And as you can see here, I think I'm hitting the 2 second mark every time, but it's always great to have the accountability of the camera. The eye in the sky never lies, ladies and gentlemen. All right, because I loved pause deadlift so much, I said, well, let's do some pause squats. Similar concept to the deadlift. At the bottom of the movement in the squat, we're going to pause for 2 seconds, and then we're going to drive back up and finish the movement. So what's great about a pause squat is you can really emphasize the concentric portion of the lift. So when I talk about eccentric and concentric portions as it pertains to the squat, all you have to know is when you're lowering, that's the eccentric portion. Your muscles are lengthening, so your quads in this case are lengthening. And when you're coming up with the barbell on your back, you're in the concentric portion. Your quads are shortening under tension. That's what you need to know about eccentric and concentric as it pertains to the squat. Let's get back into the lift. So as you can see, we're getting down to the bottom of the movement, we're pausing for 2 seconds, and we're coming up through the end of the movement. When you're doing a traditional squat with no pause, you can kind of get a little bit of a bounce at the end of the movement. So you can hit depth and you can bounce back up and you get a little bit of stimulus to help you finish the lockout. A pause squat takes that bounce out of it. You get down to the bottom of the movement, you pause, there's no spring back up, and then you really force your quads to work as hard as they can to get you back up to the top of the movement. It's a great way to make sure that you're not bouncing, to make sure that your quads are getting the best stimulus they can for the movement. And also it has a lot of carryover to getting out of the hole of your competition squat. In competition, there is a problem with a lot of lifters getting stuck in the hole, which is the bottom portion of the movement. So programming pause squats can help you really focus on getting underweight, pausing, understanding that you can lift this weight because it's mental as well, and then driving back up, finishing the move. So as you can see, I'm pausing down at the bottom. I'm squeezing my glutes at the top of the movement, really focusing on the mind-muscle connection in the quadriceps here. We're doing 6 reps of 225 here. Every time emphasizing the 2 second pause and emphasizing our mind-muscle connection and neural drive to the top of the movement. All right, so with pause deadlifts and pause squats out of the way, I was feeling like I really didn't get enough squat emphasis. So we move over to a wonderful machine known as the hack squat. Now, traditionally a hack squat, as I've seen in other gyms, will load the weight on your shoulders like a traditional squat, but the LA Fitness has let me down, and basically they load the weight on your lower back. Not a huge difference. The stimulus is still the same. I'm still getting a good movement in the quads, but it's not a traditional hack squat machine. but it gets the job done. We're loading 180 pounds here. We're keeping our feet a little bit closer than we would in a traditional squat, really to emphasize the quads, and we're just banging out reps. We're going 12 reps as fast tempo as we can. I'm not locking out fully just to keep tension on my quads throughout the whole movement. And we're just doing it as best we can. You can see it. I'm really huffing and puffing. This mask is killing me, but you know what? We got to do our parts, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully soon that will be done with. All right, so pause deadlifts, pause squats, hack squats done with. I decided let's get in a compromising position. Let's do some cable pull-throughs. Now, as you know, sometimes you're going to look weird in the gym. This is one of those exercises that when I first saw it, I was like, this cannot be doing anything. But if you pay attention to my movement pattern here, it's similar to a good morning or a straight leg deadlift. I'm hinging at the hips. I'm engaging my glutes at the top of the movement, getting a good stretch on the hamstrings at the bottom of the movement. So you may then be asking, why not just do good mornings or straight leg deadlifts? Two reasons. One, already have them programmed, already got them covered. Two, the cable machine allows for different loading of the movement. So at the bottom of the movement, it's really easy because the cable is not extended. And then as you move through, the force curve changes and it becomes difficult at the top of the movement. All of that mumbo jumbo to say that sometimes the same movement pattern, hinging at the hips, can be beneficial loaded differently. So with a straight leg deadlift, the bar's loaded out in front of you. With a cable curl, you're pulling the weight through. Just because you have the same functional movement does not mean that your muscles are being tensed in the same way. Sometimes we have to change the force curve of the weight, and that applies a different stimulus. Variety is the spice of life. In training, in life in general, you got to change things up a little bit. So on the cable pull-throughs, we're doing 57.5 pounds. Weird weight, I know. LA Fitness, what are you doing? And we're doing it 15 times, 15 reps for 3 sets. Moving right along, we get to my favorite exercise of the day, the leg curls. I don't know what it is about leg curls lately, but I'm really feeling it. Man, I'm sweating like crazy in this video, but we're working hard, baby. We're getting after it. As you recall, if you've watched the series throughout, we have done leg curls before. However, we did leg curls for endurance. We were up in the 20 rep range. The weight was really low. So on the last leg training of the week, I like to do leg curls more for strength, meaning our rep range is lower. We're doing 8 reps here. We're doing 170 pounds. We're only going to do 2 sets because we're just trying to finish off the hamstrings and get a little bit more of a strength stimulus. But there we go. That is leg curls. Finally, we reach a little bit of a superset with hip abduction and adduction. I'm trying to keep my rest times as low as possible. I've had hip issues in the past, so I like to throw these at the end just to continue to strengthen my adductors and my abductors. Neat little tip. I don't know if you guys have a problem remembering what abduction is versus adduction, but how I remember it is adduction, same 2 Ds, legs are coming together. Adduction, different, legs are going apart. Abduction. So here we are, nothing special, just your typical leg abduction machine. We're looking straight down the barrel here. I gotta save something for the OnlyFans, I guess, but you know what? You're getting me in a compromising position again. Weight training is all about removing your ego and just doing the work that's necessary. We're gonna go as fast as we can, do 120 pounds, 15 reps, not really worrying about tempo there. We're really just trying to keep the hips under tension as much as possible. After we're done with 2 sets of abduction, we move down to adduction. We want to open the legs as far as we can and bring them with good mind-muscle connection on the adductors together. Take a slight pause and come back as far as we can. You can see my range of motion is not great here because I have had hip issues in the past. I just am not flexible enough to get into a full split position. Sue me. I'm working on it. You know what? Sometimes we struggle, but you got to keep working. You got to throw things in that are hard in your exercises, and I like to do that just to continue to keep my ego as low as possible. Because once you get done with a set of those, you really feel like you can't do anything. That is gonna do it for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed the workout. That is week 5, day 5 of our high frequency training program. That's the last leg day of the week. Hopefully, you're throwing some of these concepts into your own programming. Hopefully, you're liking the videos. If you are, throw a like on there. Subscribe to the channel. We got new fitness videos coming out every Monday. If you want to get in contact with me, my email is in the description. You can hit me with a comment, or you can come check me out on Twitch. Twitch.tv/CaptainSpaceBeard. We'd love to have you in the chat. Come hang out. All right, everybody. That is going to do it for me. I hope your training is going well and your nutrition is on point. And you know what? I hope your life's going easy breezy. Have a good rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Get strong. Stay strong. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.